Okay, let's see how this works. I'm not super impressed with the picture. It looks kind of dark. Oh well. Hi, welcome to Man Mountain Metals. My name is Jim, and we are here looking at some graphite molds I have acquired over the past little bit. I guess we'll start with this one. This is a United States of America mold, and I have not poured it. Just looking at it, you can tell it's going to lock. And what I mean by that is when you pour the liquid metal in it and it solidifies, you won't be able to take it out. There's just too many little dips and divots. I very seriously doubt. And it's very thin too for its size. Anyway, for whatever reason, I have not poured that one yet, but it is one of my molds. This is the large skull mold. They only made 4 of these molds, and I bought one of them. This is the medium skull mold, and this is one of the pours from it. Don't know if you can tell right there. It has broken, and this piece on this side has started to crack, and that corresponds to these dips here. So on the newer skulls, it's shaped a bit differently in that particular area. Anyway, this is an ingot mold. This is another one just like it. I use those to make the ingots that I use to make other stuff. That's a mushroom mold. I don't like it much because it's so thin right there that they tend to break. And it's very easy to over pour it trying to get it full. And I don't like doing all that much sanding, especially what would be required. This is a Bengal tiger. This is a heart. This is a lion. This is a bigger heart. I don't have one of those out here to show you, but it's just a larger version of the small one. This is a dolphin. I haven't poured it yet. The tail is very, very not deep. Shallow. Yes, that's the word. So to get the tail full, you have to pour a lot in it, and it's just not sure how that one's going to work. A lot of these molds were made for glass blowing, right? You're supposed to take a rod of glass and press it in there or something. It's not made for metal. So some of them you have to use your imagination a bit. Get creative. This is the fire skull. Very, very unpopular skull. Nobody likes him. I've thought about doing some kind of jewels in the eye. Maybe get Kevin in on that. I'm not sure. Not sure that polishing a turd is the right path to take. This is a little mold that makes these. I call them my bouillon cubes. Right? That was Amazon. This is my YouTube bar, but it is broken. broken right there, and the U or something's broken over on this side too. Anyway, it's broke, and the guy he can't like recut it. I've sent him the dimensions to cut a new one. He has not replied. I sent another email saying, hey, did you get my last email? And he hasn't replied to that. I'm telling you, people that make graphite molds are crazy. They're just crazy. And sometimes I order two because I know that they're nuts, man, and getting another one's going to be not impossible. This is my Tetris mold. Also another expensive mold, hard to pour. I think Redneck Bullion, Big Red Bullion, him of the many names, he is my only Tetris production pieces. The only one that's went to him. This is a cat tail. I use it for brushing off the molds. It's real good for getting out all the little places. Yeah. This is another custom mold that I had made. It was 99910. Has a flying dragon. For whatever reason, he decided to make it very shallow. And I had requested one, just like, I have no idea which one it is, but just like another one that I had made that I will show you later, that was much deeper. So he sent me another one to replace this one. So I have two of these, one deeper than the other one. Hard to pour. They want to bubble. They don't want to lay. It does not want to lay right. It won't. That little, all that super fine detail in that dragon, it doesn't want to lay in there. It doesn't matter how hot you get it or what metal you use. Pretty much got to use 10. It's a 10 bar. Okay, where are we at? Got a cat licking his privates. Go with this one. This is a Bud Light, and this was a custom made mold as well, and you can see the chipping right there in the half moon that goes around the Bud Light. So that mold's pretty much shot. I don't think I got 2 or 3 good pours out of this, and that was like 40 bucks. Not that they sold for this cost. It was $38 plus shipping. This, y'all remember this. This is from art by ahhh. He did this one too. As far as I know, that was the only 2 he has up for sale. Oh no, he has a skull mold too, but I don't like it. It's not very pretty. This is supposedly a monkey skull. It's another one of those from the glass people that make stuff for glass. And it locked and pulled the eye out. So this one's broken. Although I did make a one with it. You can see the eye isn't very deep. And that one is. If I break the other one off at the same thing, I might could set jewels in it or something. But this was also a very unpopular pour. Nobody liked this. This is a little ingot mold. Something you get with your starter kit. This is what it makes. This is a, let's see, we had the large, and we had the medium. There's a small, and then there's a mini, and then there's a micro. This is the mini. It makes 1 ounce pours that stand up 3D skulls. Not very well, they're top heavy, but they do stand up. This is a trilobite mold that I ordered from G&G Machine Works. It started getting worn out, and so I ordered another one. It took me, I'm not going to lie, 3 months to get it. And when I got it, it was it's the same mold, right? But this is cut on a piece of scrap. You can tell it came pre-chipped. So his quality just went downhill. He's even been pulled from Amazon for not fulfilling orders in a timely manner. He's still selling on Etsy, and he still has stuff for sale on eBay, but I don't have anything to do with him anymore. It's just too hard. More than that one mold. I had 3 or 4 molds ordered from that guy. Close to $200 tied up. And it was just months and months and months of no responses to email. He wouldn't respond until you opened the case against him. Anyway, enough about G&G Machine Works. This came from him too, so I guess we're not quite done with G&G Machine Works. This makes this skull, and this is the small, right? This is between the medium and the mini. This is the piece of cat food stuck in it. Thanks for that, Bobby. This is the Pharaoh's skull mold. It makes that pour right there. That's the one you was asking about. There it is. These molds last a long time, as long as you use them for tin, bismuth, lead, the lower melting point metals. When you start putting copper and silver at 2,000 degrees, you get this yellowish orangish that makes bubbles in the next one, and it's hard to clean out. And when you do, you remove some of the graphite, and you lose some of the detail. So that's just part of it. It gets harder and harder to do, especially the copper ones. Your first ones come out real slick and shiny, right? And then after that, they start getting a little worse for wear. So if you have a really popular mold, like this one, I buy 2, because sometimes you can't get another one. They won't have them. This is that particular skull there. I call it the half pounder. And then I got this one. See, again, the exact same mold from the same people, and they're completely different sizes. Well, not completely different, but definitely different. One is obviously smaller than the other, right? Anyway, use this one for copper, and you use this one for the tin and the bismuth. That's probably some bismuth right there. Anyway, that's them. I'm running out of places to put this stuff. I'm afraid the cat's going to knock it off, so we're going to take a break here and put some of this stuff up that we have already gone through. Mostly cat. Well, welcome back. I know it's only been a minute for you, but it's been a couple for me. If you're still with me, I'll do a giveaway. That's what I'll do. If you want to win one of these pores here. Basically the first one that comes to hand. All you have to do is put in the comments the number of graphite molds shown in this video. Simple, right? Alright. Oh yeah, do some catch up. I just downloaded that one segment, the first part, the part you just watched. And I noticed I didn't show the finished product on the paw print and the finished product on the Bud Light. Although, you know, that's just barely sellable. It's got those places in it. In fact, when I saw that, that's what made me go back and look at the mold to see what was wrong. And I saw that it had broken. This is a Baby Yoda. Got one here in lead. It's very stylized. It's not a lot of these out there. I think SHTF has one of the only ones. And I might have sold some at Durban, so I'm not real sure. But there's not a whole lot. That is a broken mold. It's identical to this one. Alright. This is one of those glass blowing molds that works well for glass and doesn't work well for does not work as well for metal. The eyes broke out. I got exactly one good silver pour out of both of these molds with the eyes intact. And SHTF again ended up with that one. It was it makes a, this is what I call the micro skull. It makes a 9-gram pour in silver. Whoop. Hold on. You can tell this one, the eyes are complete. I'll get it in a minute. I have the camera on the opposite side. Anyway, that's the micro skull. I'm taking too much time. This is a gummy bear. It pours a 5 to 8 ounce gummy bear, depending on what mellow you're using. 5 to 6 ounces in bismuth, which is what this is. We've got a ladybug. We got another one of those skulls. Here's one in lead. I have 2 of these molds. This is very popular. I have ended up just giving these small ones away when the people buy, you know, $20 or whatever. I'll just throw an extra one in. So I have 2 of these molds. It's easier to make them if you can pour multiples. If I could afford it, I'd have more than that. Oh, okay. This is kind of hard to explain here. This is an ingot mold, right? You're supposed to put it together. It's a 2-piece graphite mold. It fits together like that. You pour the metal in this side. And supposedly that little bitty teeny tiny vent is supposed to let the air out. Only it doesn't. This mold has never worked as intended. But I found other uses for it. I took some clay, filled in that little spot, and used it to make my bismuth ingots. And they have been a good seller. I have 2 of those. Now this part of that mold with the dip in it that you pour metal into, it works well. Like say for instance, I need to find say for instance you wanted to do that turtle shell and you didn't want to have it all sticky uppy poofy, you'd put this like that and pour the metal in it. As long as you left enough room for the metal to go in and the air to come out, you'll end up with a flat bottom turtle shell with a minimum amount of grinding necessary to finish it off. So that's why I keep those around. They work good for the Tetris. The Tetris pieces are just insanely hard to pour without this to help you out. Got the pistol, got the pew pew. I believe this one's up for sale on eBay. It's like the first one, 5 ounces of tin. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to pay for it. I liked it. I thought it was kind of neat. But I think I was pretty much the only one. Speaking of unpopular, this mold here makes the tribal skull, or at least that's what I call it. I think they called it skull design number 3 or whatever. Clinton S has one, and I've sold 2 more on eBay in copper, and I've sold 1 in lead, and I think 1 in bismuth. Other than that, it hasn't really sold. Not compared to this one. You know, this one is just sold going and coming. Way more popular than pancakes. This is the silver bar. This is the tin bar. They were supposed to be identical. Remember the one I showed you that was very shallow? These are the deep ones. Again, they don't lay right. I've poured silver in this thing, this one, 10 times. Haven't got one yet that looks worth a damn. I want to try. I mean, I've got the mold hot. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pouring into a cold mold, but I don't have a torch blowing directly on it all the time. And that's what I got to try next. And the reason I haven't tried that is because, you know, that's not really good for the mold, is it? Got a little heart. Miss Canadian Scrapper has the only ones of these that I made. Or she should have, if they sent them to her. This is a quarter moon. I made a few of these and sold them on the RN Metals auction. Otherwise, I haven't touched that mold since now. This is a squirrel. This stupid little squirrel is hard to pour. I am so glad that I didn't tell the squirrel lady that I had this, because I mean, just good grief, so hard. Best I could do was these bismuth pours. They're kind of, sort of, maybe okay, but they're definitely not what I had in mind when I bought that mold. Here's a skull. It's almost like a button. I've made 1 or 2 in it. Joe Durbin's first auction with my pours in it, he sold one. And that's pretty much the only one that's been sold. It's not a very attractive skull. This is a Jack Skellington round. Let me see if I can find one of these. Okay, here's one. You'll notice it has a few holes in it, and that's from the mold deterioration. I haven't tried cleaning this back out. This isn't very popular, so this is pretty much retired. This is the eagle and flag. It does great in tin. Doesn't do that well in copper. In fact, I'm just now noticing that whole bar that whole bar right there has been broken out. So this one is chipped right there, and this one completely gone. So this mold is shot. Can't sell it like that, but that's what it's supposed to look like when it doesn't have pieces broken out. This is a dragon skull, and then a smaller dragon skull. Again, hard to pour. I poured some in bismuth, and that's about it. This is a pirate round. I had Pirate Stacker in mind when I bought this, and then he changed his name to Pirate Prepper and bought a store and started doing prepping videos, and I never got in contact with him about that because, I mean, good Lord, man, spending all his money on a store, he ain't got time for trinkets. So this is a larger version of this, and they're the Stormtrooper. That's a 5 ounce, and that's a 1 ounce. I don't have one of these made. It's an eagle and wolf. I'll try to throw up a picture. It pours a 4 ounce bar in 10. This is a seeing eye right there. This is a coffin bar that came from Amazon. This is one of my only antimony pours. That horrible Metalloid 51. I haven't sold a single I haven't even put them up for sale. It's a horribly ugly metal, as you can tell. But anyway, that's ammonite. It went with the trilobite before I figured out people don't like fossils. They like skulls. Give me a skull, Jim. This was sold as a tribal face, although it's been suggested I call it a tribal mask, and it's probably about right. This is the newest one I've got. I haven't even poured it yet. It's a Wolf 999 silver. This is one of the tiger. It's not the Bengal tiger, it's the other tiger, and it makes this right here. And it's nice and no bubbles. I don't know how long that'll last. You can tell it's changing color, the mold is, but anyway, for now it's making excellent pours. This is a Coca-Cola bar. It's busted all to pieces. It doesn't really make much of anything anymore. But speaking of busted all to pieces, this was a bismuth pour that I broke when I tried to stamp it. Well, I don't stamp bismuth. And that's what it used to make. Another one of those where I didn't make my money back. Very few of these out there. Custom mold. This is a puffin. I have the puffin over here on the table somewhere. I was working on it. I've only made one of them. I made it in copper and then put a tin like that, right? But with a puffin. This is another ladybug. It's easier to have when you're doing multiples. You just go down the line, and then you go back and you can dump them out and go back down the line. But it takes time, so it's better if you just have enough molds for the metal you have, right? Anyway, that is an eagle. It's an eagle everybody has. It was given to me free because I bought all these other ones. And it makes that. It's hard to pour. You either don't get the beak or you don't get the feathers down here. Depends on where you pour. And if you pour up here, you get the feathers, but you won't get the beak. Anyway, there's the pour. Whoa! This is a pyramid. That means one of these is a pyramid also. Here are the two pyramids. Aztec pyramids. This one comes from G&G Machine Works. 45 days after I canceled the order that was 90 days old. I never paid for it. I don't know if it was a I'm sorry present or what, but he never emailed me. I never emailed him. But I did get the mold. This one, I think the guy's name is Ivan on eBay, or his store name is. I'll try to throw up a link or at least a picture of his. What do you want, Taddy? I'm trying to do a video here, babe. Of his store link. Just a moment. That's the sound the cat makes when it wants to go inside. Open the door, human. Alright, so this is the big pyramid. This is 13.5 ounces of bismuth. This is a small pyramid. This one's, this is actually like the extra 3/9 silver I had left over from a different pour from a sand casting, and I just poured it in this mold to get it all in one spot. So that's what that is. That's why it's not finished on the bottom or anything. And this is the medium. This is the mighty medium pyramid. And as far as I know, the only place you can get a medium pyramid is from Backyard Scrapping, because I bought the mold, yeah, and sent it to him. I intended to buy me one, and this is the guy that I had so much trouble with. So there is a small, medium, and large, but I only have the small and the large. This is the cat mold. I got BYS one of these too. His was round. His looks better than mine. As you can tell, I've been using it. Okay, this, I call it the Mecha Skull. I think it was like skull design number 2 or something. And it did fine in bismuth and tin. And I made 4 copper ones, and the 5th one broke the eye out. And I contacted the guy I bought it from. And I said, man, can you give me a deal on another one? And he sent me one for free. Although I did purchase another mold from him at the same time, so that he wouldn't have to eat the shipping and everything. So I call it the Mecha Skull. This makes that. It's 2 angels holding up a cross. Took me the longest time to figure that out. It's like one of those ink blots. This one makes 148 grams in tin. Looks like we're about done. We got 2 more. We got the arrowhead, which is the Big Daddy version of the one I sent Kevin. I've sold a good many of those. I've sold those to France. I've sold those to Canada. I've sold those to some other foreign country. Israel, I think. Bismuth. Who'd have thunk it? Then I got the turtle shell. This was a free gift from Weaver. I haven't sold many, if any, of these. I think Scrappy might have bought one, and that's about the only person that's got one of these. I haven't put them up for sale. They make a big 4-ounce pour, but they're you know, most people want a turtle, right? They don't just want a turtle shell. They want the whole thinking turtle. So I haven't had much luck selling any of those. Not that I've tried. And I was going to do the silicone molds, right? But I think I'll spare you that, and we'll call this video right here. And we will see you next time.